Hello everyone. So today I'm going to look at my car and talk about a couple of things, just because of some things have been mentioned, and because I took my car for a drive and I could smell oil, like it was burning or something. So I'm going to point out a couple of things with the car at the moment that I know about. This video doesn't upload, well, I'll find a way to make it work. At the moment, as you can see, there's a little bit of oil around the edges. It sort of looks like this hose is, not sealing correctly, and there's oil going through the braids in this clear hose. Cheap, nasty hose. I'm looking for any signs of oil around anywhere the oil can leak from. As you can see, there's runs coming from the oil cap here. There's some oil there. That's a bad sign. I'm not sure where else we could be losing oil from. My dipstick should say it's about half full from the last time I checked it. It is just below half based on the dipstick. So it seems like it might be losing oil. Now, don't actually see any drips on the ground or anything, so there's no major oil leaks. It's either burning oil off or it's going into the catch can, which is okay if it's going in there. So I'm just looking to see if there's any possibilities. It could be there. It sort of looks oily there, around that region. But I don't see any signs of oil anywhere else. This hose being clear is a good sign. It's saying that this isn't at capacity. It's not pushing it into turbo flow hose thingy. Should buy a new one of these hoses, by the way, just because the how horrible it looks. And what I got to do is I got to figure out. This also looks oily too, so it looks like this has been pushing oil out at some point. It's doing a job, but it's not doing its job properly. So I'm not sure where the oil's going to end up. And I'm going to pull this out to the side like so, and I'll see where I can catch it. If any oil's going to come out. Then we're going to open up the tap. Let's see if anything comes out, which doesn't look like anything's coming out. Oh, there we go. Whoa, that wind is affecting that oil flow. I would definitely not put this oil back in my engine. That seems too thick. And it seems very, very, very dirty. It's lots of contamination there. But I can't work out where all the oil's gone, because it doesn't seem like it's going everywhere. Like, I know there's oil everywhere every now and then, but there's no oil leaks on the ground or anything. And this isn't really flowing, so I don't really see how it is the catch can's catching anything, really. I mean, it doesn't account for all the oil I've lost. It's either burning it off, it's either burning oil, or it's getting pushed out somewhere, and I don't know how to make heads and tails of where the oil is actually gone. I don't know where the oil's gone. So my oil level's down. There's nothing to make sense of where it's actually gone. If I open this up and there was oil in here, it makes some sense. I doubt I'm going to see oil in here. No oil. Okay. So the question is, where can oil go? If the engine's consuming oil, it's drawing oil up into the cylinders. That is a bad sign. That's a possibility of this engine. This is one of the reasons why I'm building another engine. And in that sense, it could be consuming oil, which is bad for the engine. I can't tell for certain where the oil is going, but I reckon it's got to be the cylinders, because there's no real signs here of it losing oil out there. And the dipstick level, like, there's an oil drip there, but it's probably from pulling the dipstick. We go looking around the base of the engine, the back of the block, it's literally not leaking anywhere. If we go look down here at the crank, we can't see the crank actually. Look around the belts, no oil. We can see there's splashes here, splotchy marks, that's all bad signs, but this was meant to be cleaned here. This region here is just from the oil catch can itself, so maybe it's just spraying it out like it is. Maybe it is all this dirt in this area that is the oil, but there is no sign of where the oil is actually gone. From here, maybe if we take a good look down there, that pipe is now oily looking. The side of the block looks oily as well, so it's a possibility somewhere here there's an oil leak. So I got to get a new one of those brackets, sets of brackets, and put it on my tube. This bracket here, that's for the water cooling line. I have the tube. Actually, I should check what my tube is like against this one, the OEM one that's on my car currently, and see what the difference is. But I can't tell where the oil's going, so I guess that's enough said. I don't know if I turned the valve off. I think that's either on or off now. I think it's off. I didn't lose, it doesn't seem like the oil's going to be getting the catch can. I am losing oil. There isn't really much sign of where the oil is going. I'm believing, I'm just getting a hunch on it, that's something to do with the cylinder rings and liners and stuff. This engine, that was one of my fears I've had for a while. It's not running away on me yet. I chose manual for this exact scenario. It doesn't lack power. It has some decent power still there, but those liners aren't in good condition because they've been damaged by rust and water. It's not great. Now, to address concerns that someone else had, they were asking, hey, who owns the Tata, or where is the Tata? They're saying, who's the new owner? I still have the Tata. Okay, Tata is not going to go anywhere anytime soon. It's not worth it for me to sell. It's not worth it for me to keep, so I'm in the position of, hey, there's a 3-corner jack here, and I should have noticed that earlier. I'm in a position where I've even got this tank on the back here now, and it's filling up with water. I think the tap is, looks like the tap's there, but I don't think it is. It's got a tap on it. It might actually be, no, I can't see the tap. But this is filling up with water because it's got holes in it. Tata's still here though. I still have Tata. It's not really worth me getting rid of, because if I get rid of it, I can't get this money I've spent on it back. And that's about $200 in the cluster and $300 in parts. And that's servicing parts. It's like $100 in filters or something and all the servicing stuff. So, also another reason why I won't sell it is because it's one of those vehicles that if I sell it to someone, they can't fix it, they can't service it, they can't do nothing with it. There's just no value in them getting this car that they're going to spend money on, a lot of money on, and then be in a position where they can't do much with it. So I'm going to keep this one. And potentially down the line there might be a possibility I might do a driveline swap and swap things around in order to make sure that this car can still get service parts for it. Unfortunately, there are a lot of things in this design, this car design, that's flawed. Lots of things that go wrong with it. Lots of things that are, in fact, a problem with it. And it's not one of those things I want to put on someone else. I've got the problem, I'll take responsibility to deal with it, and maybe I'll use it for a bit before I go, hey, I'm going to sell it. So, the problem with this car, in case anyone was wondering that hasn't been following my channel very well, the turbo, I've already gotten the price on the stuff. I've got to see if I can find a key. See if I can get this door open. Yeah, I've actually locked the keys in the car at one point. Turbo on this is actually no good. That's actually off the car at the moment. I think it's in the car as well. So the turbo will be in this bag, I believe. Here's the turbo. There it is. That turbo's no good. There's a truck. Not sure what's going on here. It's pulling up here occasionally to do something. I think they're building a house across the road. But this turbo is no good. If I sold it to someone with that turbo, it will break. There's also the possibility this engine has problems as well. This has high compression still, which is good. doesn't consume much oil. This one here, it's a different story altogether. Let's take a look at what's under the hood in a second. So here we are, under the hood, everything's off. You might look at this and be like, well, there's spiders living in it, and this hose is not covered. Well, it is actually covered here. It doesn't let stuff into the intake. This can get filled with crap, unfortunately, but I do believe the hoses and pipes are off for that, and it was difficult to get things in and out. So, as you can see, it's also wrapped there on the exhaust manifold. This hasn't been serviced for a long time. The pipe there is covered. This isn't going to be an easy one to look after or fix for anyone, not even myself. It's one of those cars that you just about say could go to the junkyard. This still has value to whoever could use it. Injection pump, because it's a common sort of layout / design that would work. You could fix it and use it on some other vehicle. It has a similar pattern, bolting pattern to the Triton MJ. It is what it is, unfortunately. This does need work done, obviously. It does have its issues, but I've done some stuff to it. I don't believe that this is worth anyone else's time as it is, or money. Because, I mean, look at this. This stuff is just breaking. This is what things look like. Things are just breaking and broken, and it's just not worth it, guys. So if you guys do want it, then this is the thing you got to realize. It's going to cost you a lot of money to put this on the road and to maintain it and look after it. You know, it's got these clips, so it makes it easy to go and check out what the belts and condition and stuff is like. But I was planning on, if I need to, rebuilding the water pump if I can't find a replacement. Because this isn't one of those cars you can just easily just buy it as your first car and expect it to run and be reliable. It's going to have problems. I mean, hey, look, there's rust. There's rust spots in it. It's horrible. I did clean it. I took the headlight out because it had issues and filled up with dirt. Look at that lamp. Look how rusty it is in there and corroded and falling apart it is. It needs new headlights. Could use for some new ones of them if they were any good. It's built in India. It's got some good tread on it. But unfortunately, the car is what it is. It's not worth putting on the road as it is. Not worth, you know, just selling it to someone and then giving someone else the problems to deal with. I don't think anyone would appreciate getting these issues. So another thing is, I'm going to point out that I've actually I've spent money to fix things. I've spent about $200, give or take, on the dash cluster, because someone put a hole through here to fix up the needle. The needle was bent in the dash. I had that fixed, and I had the tacho calibrated and repaired because it wouldn't actually it wouldn't work to the speed. So when you were driving, you'd get up to 50 kilometers an hour and the needle would just drop, or it do fluttering sort of things. It had issues that I had to fix. Now, like I said, I had this fixed as best as I could get it fixed by professionals. You know what they're doing. It's not perfect. They just glued a new piece of round plastic in there. They said they can make a new one of these up, but it would be a few $100, more like 1,000. Things got broken to put back together again. Gear stick is a bit weird to change gears. It is 4-wheel drive, but the 4-wheel drive doesn't work on it. But it could work. Depends on who's interested in electronic 4-wheel drive, which has been around for a while. 2H, 4H, 4L. So that's your gears. Yeah, it's not the greatest vehicle, guys. Not as it is anyway. So this video expands on what I've already got. Gauge works, repair Tata, tacho, speedo, and calibrate as best as we can for the condition, $110. That's what I've paid for it. Then this here is a repair that was for the dash cluster. You've seen the hole in the dash, and they charged me $33 in total for the repair of the tacho. So that was the same thing. I made sure to get that done properly. Then I had to buy a hose because it was broken in the car, so I bought a hose from ABS, one time and replace that hose. We have radiator cap, water pump gasket. I think this water pump gasket I'm concerned about because I don't know if that's actually true. The radiator cap, yes, is true. The flush is true. The extra cool is now partially true. My dad gave me $10 for that, so that's not true. And then the water hose, the hose is there. Excuse me. Excuse me. Then we have the oil filter, Tata. That's true, that's in the car. Over here we have the engine oil flush, intake decarb, diesel clean, and boost. Two of those are the same but different, slightly different products. I bought one because it was on special, and the other one just in case, I believe. I'm a little bit confused about the two, but okay, they should be the same. As it says marked down because it was damaged. Unless they've doubled up the price, which I don't think they did. As that came to $72.98. So in total I've spent about $300, take $10 off, take $15 off of $300, and that's how much I've actually spent on this. I had that there because it was with documentation apparently. Yeah, I'll leave it at that. So essentially you've got the rundown of the Tata now, why I won't get rid of it. I know its value on the market value for it was about $1,800, and I didn't know what the conditions of others were, but they looked a lot worse than this one. They seemed a lot worse. They had more kilometers on mileage, and so looking at the mileage on this one, looking at what I knew about this one, I thought, you know what, it's definitely got to be worth that. And people want to spend $1,000 on it at the time, and it's like, this is the market value. I'm selling it for the market value, and with the money I've spent on this, no one wants to pay me what it's worth, what I've spent on it. But as you know, this engine could blow and go. So even both vehicles are not really set up or ready or in good condition. Like my Triton is in good condition. It's just got some issues which need fixing and addressing if I want it to last a long time. If I can sell it, that is. But like you've seen it's got the thing here, and you've seen it's getting all muck all over the hood. You've noticed it doesn't have its hood liner. I also noticed it has a hole in the front here, and I don't like how I'm getting smells into the cabin. So what could be happening is those holes could be opened up so much that the smells are getting into the cabin, and that's what I'm breathing in toxic fumes potentially, because I don't know. There isn't really many holes for stuff to get in the cab. That's the grate section. So yeah, it's still reliable. It still hasn't broken down. It still hasn't run away on me, but it is what it is. So I'm also looking for mud flaps. I'm trying to order some and buy some, but no one's gotten back to me yet on them. I can't get them here because there's no Tritons left around to suit. Also wonder if there's meant to be screws in these, because these are just clipped, but they're not screwed. I think I'm missing clips and screws for this guard here, because of that. But there is meant to be a mud flap here, and I'm going to put a mud flap on. I've got one of two, but I need the driver's side one. That's what I'm looking for at the moment. I need the driver's side mud flap. I've got to get some screws for it. I wonder if this is full of dirt. This looks like dirt in there. I'll have to pull that off, clean it. But I'll get a driver's side mud flap, and then I'll mount the passenger side, because if I put on the passenger side mud flap and the driver's side's missing, I'm going to get a defect easily. If it's consistent across the whole car width and everything looks right, then I'm not going to get in trouble. I don't want to get in trouble for missing mud flaps. It never had mud flaps to begin with, so I've had to go and track them down. These tyres are old and, you know, going to crap. They feel like crap to drive with too. It's they've still got some tread on them. It's just the toes that are really, really bad. I think the rear ones were worse. Anyway, I'm going to end this video here. I'll edit it on my computer and then I'll upload it. There's not really much I can make content on because there's not really much to talk about. The fact is, I'm going to make this car as good as I can because it's the one I drive every day, it's the one I need every day. It's not like Dad's going to last, he just came home while we were making the video. Thanks for watching everyone, take care.